Hello guys, Rabbit J here, back at it with another computer tech video, and we will be going over, in my opinion, the best used CPU, budget CPUs out on the market right now, on eBay, because that's where you get a lot of used CPUs at. If you go to Amazon, they have the prices skyrocketed, because they're brand new most of the time. There's a lot more expensive on Amazon, so I tend to use eBay for buying used parts. I've only bought about one part on Newegg ever. Probably two. I got my hard drive from Newegg, and, I think at least. And I know I got my graphics card from Newegg. It's probably a rip-off then, but whatever. Pay $180 for an R7 370, 4GB model, but it's a good card. But I have like 5 up here, I think. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CPUs, and then their motherboard types over here. So here's the first CPU. They're not in any order at all. They're all priced differently. This one is the Intel Xeon E5 clocked at 3 GHz with 12 megabytes of cache. And it's a LGA 771 quad-core CPU. So we can actually do with 771 CPUs. You can put them into a, if you get a, adapter sticker for around $5-10, it's LJ771 to 775 adapter. You can take that CPU right here, and you can put it on, you can put it in a 775 motherboard if you want to. It's kind of your opinion, what you want to do, but that's kind of what I recommend, because those motherboards are insanely cheap. The 771, if you want to go for 2 of these CPUs, I think you can at least. Don't quote me on this. I think you can. I think. Let me check here. Yeah, you can get dual CPU. So here's pass mark score with dual E5 472. This is their pass mark score. This is the average, everyone that submitted theirs. This is the average of it, with 2 of them, and they're at 3 GHz. They have 4 cores a piece, and they use 80 watts a piece. So, put 2 of them together, get 2 of them, you have 8 cores, 8 true cores, at 3 GHz, and only using a total of 160 watts power. So that's pretty good. The 771 motherboards are pretty nice. I actually have one right now, but I don't think I can actually put that CPU in it because I have the Xeon 5160s in a 690 Dell computer. So here's the 771 motherboards. You can get them for pretty cheap, but just be on the lookout for some motherboards. You want to make sure they'll fit in the computer because most of them are made for servers or they're scrapped from servers. And if you're getting like a Dell one or a HP motherboard, right? OEM brand motherboard, you want to make sure it doesn't need a different power supply, because this HP Z400 motherboard I got, it actually has a different pin out on the 24 pin power plug. So I need to make an adapter to change my power supply, my standard 24 pin, and snip wires. This is really ghetto, but have an extension cable so I don't actually damage the power supply cables, just damage the extension cables and rewire everything in the pin. But it needs as an extra ground slot where the negative 5 volt pin out is, and then it has 2 12 volt pins where a 3.3 volt and a 5 volt pin out is. So it's at, I believe it's at pin out 12 and 23. That's where the 12 volt needs to go. So I was thinking with a graphics card, 6 pin plugs, the one's close to the clamp on top of it. I think they're yellow also if you have just standard plain ones, but those carry 12 volts on one rail, so I could wire those into the 24 pin, and it should be able to power the motherboard. The power supply standards for are a lot more expensive, like $70 if I want 600 watts, which is insane. I got mine for $50 and 600 watts also, and it will work with pretty much anything. It's 4+4, but see, there's a ton of these motherboards. Not all of them will work, like these OEM ones. You want to make sure, we'll probably triple check it if they'll work with the CPU you get that's 771. but I believe nearly all of these CPUs will work in a 775 motherboard, or all the motherboards will be able to support it. So let's go on to the next CPU. Here's pass mark score for it, but next one is the i5 2320. 3 gigahertz. Not really much of a description right here. You can get some free shipping. This person selling it $70 right now. I think this was the cheapest one I saw, and I've never actually used any of these CPUs before, so I don't know how they perform under load or anything like that. But here, this was like the cheapest one I found. Here's a pass mark score, so nearly 6,000. You can't overclock. It's 3 gigahertz, 3.3 turbo speed, then number 4 cores and 95 watts of power it needs. So it's 1155, which they're actually really good deals for those motherboards. You can get them under I've selected $45 right over here, but you can get them for less than $45 on eBay right now. Like here's an Intel one right here, but like I said, watch out for these OEM motherboards. That's the thing to look out for. But here's pass mark score again, but it's a great deal for the CPU. I think the socket type is pretty old also, so if you want to go with a newer socket type for Intel CPUs, I would go with a Pentium G3258. I know it's dual core, but it's a great choice. Or if you have a little more money, get an i3 6100, because they can hyper-thread to quad core to make it act like quad core. So then you run Far Cry 4 and other games that need quad-core CPUs, or won't even let you play the game with dual cores unless you change the game files or something similar to that, or kind of jailbreak the game into allowing you to do that. But yeah, this is a quad-core CPU, 4 true cores in it. It's from 09. It's an older one, of course, but whatever. Next one is the Intel Xeon 5650 6-core CPU, ladies and gentlemen. 6 cores for $60. Free shipping. I think this was the cheapest one I saw, but it's 2.66 gigahertz. I know it's not very fast, but the main thing here is the 6 cores. You get 6 cores on the CPU. And here, this guy has a bunch of specs listed right here. The it uses the LJ1366 socket B motherboard. And the problem is right now on eBay is that some guy listed a ton of motherboards. Wait, this is the wrong one. Some guy listed a lot of motherboards for less than $50, and he says they are 1366 motherboards, but they're not. You want to watch out for that, because it's a lie right now. It's some guy he even listed laptop boards, like laptop motherboards. He listed those as 1366 motherboards. I even looked them up, they weren't 1366 motherboards. So you want to be careful with that. You want to double check, you want to copy and paste like this part right here and look it up to make sure that's right. But you can get them for a decent amount of money. I mean, you can get them for like, I think less than $50, I think. So like, see, but there's OEMs or these big server boards. You want to make sure they'll fit in your computer like this right here. The gateway. One way you can tell right off the bat like that if they are a lie is because Xeon CPUs don't have integrated graphics, or these don't at least. And that has a VGA display port, which means it's not. See, this is this guy, Red Door Tech. Watch out for what he sells, because he listed a ton of motherboards under this price range, many of them, and I think this is one of his also. It's also not a 1366 motherboard. I tried contacting him under the contact section down here. I wasn't able to. See, it's also not. It's pretty easy to tell with the display port, but watch out for that, guys. This guy will and see, here's a laptop one. Also lists as 13. Oh, this ain't the same guy either. Huh? This ain't the same guy. But it's just here. But the other guy you have to watch out for. Be careful when you get Dell ones, because some HP and some Dell I know for sure use different pin-out plugs for the power for the boards. Especially mine, since I actually have a 24-pin and a 20-pin connector on my motherboard, and they both have different pinouts, I believe. so I can't really put a different power supply in it. I'll have to get a OEM one, which I actually have a spare one in back. But watch out, unless you can wire something up pretty good, go ahead right at it. Or if you just want to spend some extra money and buy the OEM standard one, make sure it has the plugs you need on it to power your GPU or any other devices you have. If you need Molex, I think they'll have Molex if they're older motherboards like this right here that have no USB 3.0. I'm pretty sure they'll have Molex connectors since my new power supply I just got also has 3 Molex connectors, which I needed for my fan controller, which works really well for being kind of like a Chinese made fan controller. It was like the cheapest one. And the thing was, I was kind of skeptical about it since I saw 10 of those looking exactly like it sold at different prices. So I think there's like unbranded generic ones that companies slap their name onto, but it works. It works good. I tested it for a little bit with my new fans, but here's all the motherboards. There's quite a few of them. We just went over this 6 cores, but here's the pass mark score right here. I think this is a single. Yeah, single. 6 cores, but you can hyper-thread it, so you can get technically 12 cores of processing power and turbo speed 3.1 gigahertz and uses 95 watts of power. That's insane. Only 95 watts of power for that is great, but you want to make sure a motherboard will support it. Like you can even get this dual CPU. So here's pass mark score with dual 11,000. I think this is like the same pass mark score as a i7 4790K, which I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But here's the 4th one, Intel Extreme Edition i7 965, collected 3.2 gigahertz. See, it's right. I think this was the cheapest one, $60, and you will get it by the time this video is. I'm on August 9th. This is the day I'm recording this video. It'll probably be up like the 14th maybe. I'll be in school by the time this video is up because school's on the 10th. But whatever. Just comes with B1. This is also a 1366 CPU. Here's the pass mark score. 130 watts, which is quite a bit of power. This is like the sweet spot of cheap CPUs, since these older 1366 CPUs are dropping in price mainly because of their high power usage. That's mainly one thing, and their motherboards. Their motherboards are still worth a lot on Amazon. The cheapest I found was like $120, brand new. But that's quite a bit. But here's the pass mark score, 5,908. 4 cores, but hyper-threaded can be 8 cores. Technically 8 cores. Turbo speed 3.5, clock speed 3.2, pretty fast. And this graph isn't correct. It's actually changed quite a bit since then. But it's not that great for price performance. The FX 6300 is great for price performance. So, which if you guys want to put a little bit more money into, like $20 more, you can get that CPU. But I was actually planning on getting the FX 61, that CPU actually right there, but I decided not to since I heard things about like the 6100, which I was gonna plan on getting because it's cheaper, where like you couldn't run CS:GO at 60 FPS or higher, which is insane because that's really slow. I mean, it's not like great, it's kind of what I have right now, but if you're paying $60 for a new CPU and it doesn't work, that's not very good. But overall, it's a $60 free shipping. Great deal right there. And this one's all working, and it's by a reputable seller. 99.8% positive feedback right here. Great deal. There's ratings also people wrote. But yes, Bloomfield also. So it's an older CPU, of course. But that's where you save money with the older CPUs. But here's the 5th and final CPU. The Intel Xeon W3520. I think I actually bought this one. I either got the W. No, I don't think I got the W. I think. I don't know. It was one of the compatible CPUs with Z400 motherboard. I don't know, but this one works. $5 right now, guys. $5. $6 technically if you. I think there's taxes, whatever, but free shipping also. $5 for a CPU, and it doesn't really say right here, but it has 4 cores. But here's his pass mark score. So 5,000 pass mark score, 4 cores, and 2 logical per physical. So you have a total of 8 cores when hyper-threaded. Its clock speed is 2.7 gigahertz, and turbo speed is 2.9, 130 watts max TDP. But if you get the, like, you want to make sure again with the motherboards that's right. But $5 you can get technically an 8-core CPU at nearly 3 gigahertz. That's a pretty good deal in my book. I don't think I got that one. I think I got more expensive, like, other CPU, but yeah, whatever. But I mean, $5 for a CPU, and you can probably do some pretty decent gaming on it. Probably nothing too insane. Can't run like the modern titles at full like ultra settings at max resolution. Probably can't do that with this CPU. But I believe you can also do quad CPU. This is the thing with Xeon CPUs. I thought you could get like dual CPUs. Some of them you can, not the i7s. I think these 3 can right here. But here's the motherboards at 1155. Pretty good, pretty cheap right now. It's worth the i3, i5, i7, but this is actually the older i7, so we'll work with it. Whatever. The 771 motherboards are kind of mostly scrapped motherboards like Dell motherboards or stuff like that. Heck, this one even comes with a CPU, it looks like. But look at this, 2 graphics cards. I don't know if it'll support Crossfire or SLI. But this is a problem. See this right here? There's a 20 pin and a 24 pin for power. And you need both those plugged in to work. The 20 pin, I believe, is for the CPUs. And the 24 is for the overall motherboard. My power supply also has that, and my motherboard also has that. So you probably want to get an OEM. Or if you feel like doing some ghetto stuff, get a 20 pin power supply and a 24 pin power supply. So you won't go ghetto do that, but this comes with, what is this? I think it's 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, 16 gigs of RAM. That's a pretty good deal. Actually, that's pretty good. $60-ish. I don't know if it'll support the CPUs. It might support one of them. But also, it already comes with one. The E5 410. I think that's a decent CPU, but you're going to want to get the power supply for that computer. But, that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I'm pretty far on my sleeper PC. It'll probably be close to done by this video by the time it goes up, depending on the time it goes up. Apparently, I think the latest part to come in the mail is the 15th, so that's going to take a little while for me. This is the 9th right now, but whatever. I have the fans I got for it. I also have the fan controller, so I'm still pretty far behind at getting the parts. Whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Rabbit Jake, and also let me know how I should wire the Z400 motherboard. Just a quick thing. I'll probably have a separate video for this, but like a separate shorter video so I can ask you guys what I should do for it. But this is if it goes up before. Whatever. I just need help with the Z400 motherboard. I'm not sure if I should go for the OEM standard power supply, which costs a lot more right now. I already have a power supply right now. I already have the EVGA 600B bronze power supply, which I don't really want to get rid of. I mean, I'll have to buy a whole new power supply for the system. And I know EVGA is a good company. HP kind of has not really good power supplies, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I just get a 24-pin extender and a 6-pin extender and just rewire everything. It should work. Theoretically, with the power plugs, it should work, but that's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Rabbit Jake, and I'm out.